It's Lisa from Been There, Got Out. And tonight's guest, I luckily don't have to wait for technology to work because she's with me because we couldn't figure out Instagram. So this is Diana, and she does supervised visitation. And I know so many of you have all of these issues, of course, with custody battles and high conflict relationships in the court system. So supervised visitation is a huge issue. So Diana and I met in real life, and we're lucky to be like geographically near each other. It's crazy. So as soon as we met, of course, I said, I have to get her on. So Diana, you want to just introduce yourself and say a little bit about your background?
Okay, my name is, like Lisa said, Diana Canas, and I've been supervising visits for about 20. I've been doing parenting, coaching, and supervised visits for about 25 years. And I know the ins and outs of it. And if you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Well, I have questions.
Okay.
My questions are from them, but if you guys have questions as it, I always want to say, like the comments stream, my partner Chris is over there, and so he'll be shoving questions at us if they're relevant. We're not going to talk all about like family court justice during this interview, but we'll see what we can get to. Okay, so you know, Diana, I told you that a lot of our clients, everyone's in these high conflict situations, and so many of them some of them are told that they have to do supervised visits, and so they feel like a lot of guilt and shame about it, and they feel like it's a punishment. When I first told you about this, you said that supervised visitation has a lot of benefits, and people shouldn't feel horrible when they're ordered to do it because it's an opportunity. So can you talk more about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most people have the tendency to think that if they have to have supervised visits, it's because they did something wrong. They don't know how to parenting, or the kids are going to be in danger. But no, it really works in a whole other level. Also, if you're having a high conflict in divorce, so you always have someone to back up whatever the other person is saying. So it's great to minimize allegations.
Right. So I guess, like, we know in the court system there's loads of false allegations. You know, it goes both ways, but especially at victims. And so you're saying that when there's allegations involved, false allegations, that supervised visitation is a way to get rid of them?
Yes.
How?
Because there's always going to be a third party. So it's not he said, she said, there's someone else neutral to say, no, that's not how it happened, or this is how it went down. So that benefits everyone involved, and also minimize the stress, especially on the kids, because it's a very stressful situation. No one really knows what's going on, and for the kids it's even harder because they don't know. So having someone, a neutral party, going back and forth is easier for the kids, because that way they don't get to see the parents yelling at each other, or they know they're going to spend time with mom or dad in a safe environment. They are safe and without the conflict between the parents.
Okay, so now we know from a mutual friend of ours that sometimes this doesn't always work when the two parents both go to a supervised visitation center, because there can be conflict. So you remember, we're not going to get into that story, but we know somebody who had a situation where that person was going to do the supervised visitation, and the other parent started saying to the kid, don't go near that other parent, and created a lot of chaos. So what would you do to handle something like that? And how could that have happened?
That was probably lack of planning. But one of the things that we like to do in connecting families is we usually pick up the kids from the parent who has the child, and then bring it to the other parent. That way we minimize the contact between the parents. Ideally, it would be great if they can co-parent together, but at the beginning, that's very hard to happen. Eventually, it will happen.
Okay.
But at the beginning of the divorce, it's very hard.
All right, so you're saying that you bring the kid to the other parent's home, and then you're there at the home? Because we often hear about these centers where somebody goes and drops the kid off, and the kid's left alone with the other parent and strangers.
No, because my goal is to minimize the stress and the damage That can happen. So what we do is, and we try to be as normal, as casual as possible, and we do visits out in the community. We go out for lunch with them, we go to dinner, to the movies, to the mall, whatever the parent wants to do with the child, as long as it's approved by the court system.
Okay. So what about, let me think. So how do you deal with it? Or let me back up. What's your background? Like, what kind of training do you have to deal with? Yeah. Okay. I'll start there. I thought of like 3 questions.
No, I started as a parent educator, and then eventually moving into supervised visits. So one of the things that we do is we help the parent kind of iron out all the issues they have in order to be able to parent their kids. Because sometimes it gets complicated, especially I'm a Latina, and with culture, sometimes it's very different. Yeah. So we help parents navigate through the system so they can be at a place where they need to be so they can be with their kids. Because no matter what's going on between the parents, as a couple, they still will be parents forever.
So I'm thinking too that a big issue with our clients is, especially when there's a very young child involved, there's a lot of fear for the baby's safety. And I'm thinking one client in particular said that she left the baby with a supervised visitation person, and the other parent didn't even bother changing the baby or taking care of the baby. And then when she spoke to the supervisor, they said, oh, well, that person doesn't need to deal with that yet. Let's just focus on the visit.
Okay. Everyone works different. I personally, I'm always like to be on top of it, because that also shows you what the skills of the other parent has. Because eventually the goal is for them to be with their kids without having a supervisor. So they need to know how to handle whatever situation it is. If it's 2 hours, he is the father for those 2 hours. He needs to change the diaper, he needs to give the bottle. So us, in Connected Families, we encourage them to do so. And we guide them, we coach them until they do it right.
Okay. Yeah. So another thing that comes up often is that people who are involved with domestic abuse say, well, that other parent is really not safe. They're just putting on a show for the supervised visitation person. They're just doing it for here. And then as soon as someone's not watching, the child's going to be harmed. So I'm sure you hear this a lot.
Yes. But that's it. And we are aware that anyone and everyone will be on their best behavior for the first 2 hours. So when the goal, it will be reunification, or for them to have a long time, the visits have to increase. Instead of 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and then eventually moving to the home, to the visits at the parents' home, and see what they do. Because everyone in a different environment, natural environment. Like when they do at the centers, I find it that is complicated. Because it's just a very small space. What do you do? Yeah. So you just sit there and play a little bit, and that looks good. But is it real? It's not like that in real life. So when the goal is reunification, we like to increase more and more visits until we'll see real life.
Okay. How would you deal with it if it's not just a little child, but like a teenager? Because that's really different.
It is. But that's when we work with the parents. We also offer parenting coaching, because, and even if they went to parenting classes when the kids was 5, by the time they turn 12, it's a whole different game. Yeah. So we work with them and kind of work with the kids. And at that age, and if they go into a divorce, it's not going to be a happy teenager. Yeah. So you have to work with them, and also you need to respect them. If they don't want to attend the visits, it's best not to push it. Just kind of.
What about when this is the big thing with our people, is it's court ordered. And you're dealing with older kids.
Yes, we'll just try to implement. Always make sure that you keep in mind the kid's schedule. Not like you have to go today. No, work with him or her in her schedule, and try to accommodate it and make them feel like it's something fun, that they can have fun while they're doing it. Go to games, whatever they're interested in. Try to bring the parent to do it with them, and that way they feel like they're not being punished. They're just doing something with the other parent.
So you as a supervisor, so say we go to a game, like, do you sit right next to us? You do. Okay.
I do. And one of the
Isn't
things,
that kind of weird?
it is weird, and most people feel weird, and a lot of people like almost to hide it because people are embarrassed that that's happening.
Right.
But one of the things that I do is I try to blend in. I don't wear a badge. I don't take notes. I just try to blend in as much as I can to minimize the embarrassment on people.
Do you interact with the kid too, or you just...
It depends. I go with whatever opens. If the kid feels like he needs to talk to me more, I'll talk to him more, and I kind of push out. Or if I need to step in, I step in. Because my goal is to minimize the stress on the child.
Okay, so what do you do if the other parent starts getting the child upset? Like the child is crying or angry, like how do you handle that, especially in public?
Because one of the things, we have a contract where it's very clear what is allowed and what's not. And if it gets too much, I'll just take the kid and go.
Okay, so give me some examples of what's allowed what's not allowed.
What's not allowed.
Right, what's allowed, there's most things, but
what's not allowed.
Yeah.
Okay, the parents are not supposed to show up intoxicated.
Okay.
If I see signs of it, I pick up the kid and go.
All right.
Okay. If he's too aggressive and talking, bad-mouthing the other parent, I usually try to intervene and say, you know what? This is the time for you and your son or your daughter to spend together. Let's not talk about that. And then if they continue, I call it off. And also one of the things that I do with most of my kids is we come up with a safe word. Could be tomatoes.
Yeah.
So if he says tomatoes, I understand that he wants to leave.
Okay.
So we set up all those things. One of the things that we like to do in Connecting Families is we like to go, before the visit, I like to go and meet the parent who is with the child and the child. Meet with them, talk to them, and see if we connect. Because if we don't connect, it's not going to work.
It's almost like you need a good rapport, like with a therapist or something.
Yes.
Okay, so here's another scenario. It's like I had a bunch of questions for you, and now I'm like, well, what about this? So
we just go with.
Okay, so one parent, let's say the parent that's been estranged comes to the visit, and then the parent starts crying, and then the child feels bad for the parent. How often do you see stuff like that?
It's more often because
Really?
Unfortunately, people like to victimize themselves. So sometimes they use that, and I usually try to talk to them. Either I talk to them before the visit or after the visit and let them know what should be done. And I said, if you want to cry, you can call me later and we'll cry together. But let's not do that in front of your child. And I explain them why. Because if you start crying or feeling like all sad, it's almost like you pouring the responsibility on the child. You are here to make me happy. And that's too much for a child to be handling. So I usually, and I offer myself, if you want to vent, call me and you vent. If you want to cry, call me and we cry. But let's not do it in front of the kids.
Okay, so then another thing I just thought of is after these visits, so you don't take notes during the visits, especially if you're, at a game or something in public. So what kinds of things do you record that you need to present to the court, or how is it determined that someone's okay after a while or not? Like, what are the visible indicators?
Okay, I don't really take notes, but now everyone is on their phones. So I do use my phone to take little notes, but not like,
right.
No, so I make it but I do take notes on my phone.
Okay. Yeah. So, but how does somebody know I don't need supervised visitation anymore? Or the court saying that parent can start moving to unsupervised visitation?
I will provide a report of everything that happens during the visit.
Is it like a long thing? Is it a brief
it all depends on what they're looking for.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I had a case where someone needed to be assessed if she was a good person to be involved with the child or not. And that's what I look for, to see, because yes, as parents we make a lot of mistakes, but there are so many ways we can do things different. And also I always offer my help to help you get through it, because when we go into situations sometimes we don't know, the answer is so simple, but we don't come up with it.
Right.
So I always try to coach them, and I always offer my help after or before the visit, so we can iron things and they know how to handle it when it shows up during the visit.
Yeah, I mean, that's great because that's definitely not what we've heard
I know.
for most of these visits. I sit here at a center, it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the questions that we get a lot is with certain people, they're in the process of getting a divorce and coming up with a parenting plan, and they feel like, especially with very young children, I don't know if I should ask for supervised visitation because that might make things worse. What's your opinion about that?
Well, again, especially if you're going through a divorce, I think if anything, it only will help. Because the supervisor will give you a report how the person behaved and how handled situations. So that will ease the parent on the other side. Okay, he knows how to do it. And also to minimize allegations.
Right. So it's almost like a tactic someone can use to strengthen their custody case. So when they know it's going to be really difficult, should someone almost offer to go on supervised visitation to say, just like someone would say, I offer drug testing. I'll do drug tests. That way I can prove that I'm sober and clean. Yes. So if someone offers supervised visitation, it's almost like a preemptive strike to someone saying, oh, they can't handle the kid.
Yes. Because, and during, you know more about that than me, during divorce, divorce gets the worst out of people.
Well, we all know about divorce.
Okay. So that gets the worst out of people.
Yeah.
So people start saying and doing things that normally they wouldn't do. So having a third party is almost like bringing down to earth. No.
But it has to be a good third party.
Yeah, there's all kinds.
I know. I mean, I know we hear a lot of times from clients that somebody is siding with the other person and they feel like it's triangulation and that's a problem.
And we try not to do that. And that's why I don't like to hear the story from one parent or the other. I like to get as less information as I can so I can make my own assessment.
Okay, so that's interesting because that's something we always tell our clients is, don't tell people what to think. Let them draw their own conclusions. Yes. So you're saying the same thing with a supervisor. Like, you'll figure it out yourself. Is it a turnoff when somebody comes to you and says, I want to tell you how bad this other person is and you need to watch for this and you need to do this?
And I said, you know what? I usually bring it on me. I've been doing this long enough. Let me look into it and I'll let you know. That's that way. I'm not saying, no, I don't want to hear from you. No, I don't want. Let me look into it and I'll let you know.
That's very good. That's very disarming.
Yeah, that way, because, and the idea, it happens. Anything can happen. The idea is for the supervisor to stay neutral. If I'm a woman and I'm trying, it's not that I'm going to side with the woman. No, it has to be neutral. Because there's a lot of good fathers out there.
I was going to say, what's the percentage, if I don't know if you know, or like of women and men who are doing supervised visitation?
It could be very easily be 50-50.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know we have a lot of female clients who have to do it too.
Yeah.
So,
but honestly, the most people think supervised this is being punishment. And it's not a punishment. It's a blessing. It's a blessing because someone else can get to see what you're trying to say that someone is not letting you say.
That's such a great line. If we weren't in the middle of face-to-face, I'd be scribbling it down, but I'll get it later.
Yes, that's because...
Chris, write that down.
Yeah, because that's it. I'm fighting. And sometimes when we are so eager to let people see how good we are, it doesn't come out that well.
Oh, write that one down too, Chris.
So it's always better to have someone make their own assessment. And if I got nothing to hide. So why should I be worried?
Right.
If I have something to hide, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But if I'm not hiding anything, all I want is to spend quality time with my kids. Why not?
What do you do when a parent doesn't show up for the visits? Because that's another thing. Like, we have clients who'll say, this other person's supposed to do supervised visitation, and then they don't show up. They haven't shown up for 6 visits. They've only had 3. Now the supervisor's giving a report, and it's not enough.
Those reports, if we're doing it, it's through the court. So that's even better, having a supervisor, because and then you have someone else saying he's not showing up. So and then you bring it to court and show the judge, look, this is what it was ordered and he's not doing it. So that way another decision can be made.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Very interesting.
one or the other parent will say, oh, but I go and she's not there. Oh, no. If you have a supervised visit and you're not showing up, that supervisor is going to inform the court he's not showing up.
Yeah. What if the child's already been dropped off for the visit and then the other parent doesn't show up?
That happens a lot too.
Really?
Yeah, but what I do is I usually take them out to McDonald's, to some place.
So you still do the
I bring them back home, but I'll do something with them in the community, so they don't feel like, I'm sure they do feel it and they do know it, but I try to do something fun with them so it doesn't feel like I went out and nothing happened.
Yeah.
Just for the kids. So we'll go to McDonald's, we grab a Happy Meal or whatever, and then I bring them back home. But I try to always do something so they don't feel like, oh.
Yeah. Okay, so Diana, you're awesome, but how are people going to find like how does somebody know if a supervised visitation place or person is good? Like, where do they look? How do they find a good one? How do they find someone like you?
Well, there's a lot of agencies out there, but what you need to do is, like, when we buy in a car, we're looking through a couple of dealers, we test drive a couple of cars, the same thing. Call a couple of people and see what they have to offer. And if they are good, they are willing to offer you the time for you to meet with them.
Okay, so meet with them before
even you hire them. Just to see if the connection is there. Because if the connection is not, could be the greatest one, but if you don't connect, it's very hard.
Okay.
So just take the time to have them come to your house. And one thing that I always like to do is go and meet with the parents and the child before the visits. Because we tell our kids, don't go with strangers.
Right.
And then when it's for our need, our convenience, go with so-and-so. So I usually like to go in ahead of time and meet with the child and the parent and spend a couple of minutes, half hour with them and see what happens. And for the child to feel like, okay, my mom knows her, it's okay for me to go with her. Or my dad knows her, it's okay with me to go with her. Instead of just get in the car and go with this lady that you don't even know who she is.
Right. Are there other things to do to prepare children? Because we get this question a lot. Like, how do I prepare my kids for this situation? Or how do I explain to them?
Usually it all depends on age. You need to talk to your kids on their level.
Okay.
If it's a 5-year-old says, you know what, Mom and Dad, I'm not going to be together for a minute, but Diana, in my case, Diana's going to take you to see your dad. Okay. I'll be waiting for you here.
Okay.
But that way, by that time, the child has already know who I am, and it's going to feel comfortable.
Okay, with I'll be waiting for you, that's at home, not in the parking lot.
I'll be waiting for you at home.
Right, because that's another question we get is like, do you think I should wait outside in the parking lot in case it doesn't go well and the kid wants me? Or what if the kid wants to come back with me and not do the visit?
Yeah, but that's because if it's court order, I need to do, or whoever parent is, they need to do the best they can to make it happen.
Right.
But if it's all kids, especially young kids, it's kind of, they don't talk much, but they feel everything. So if you're anxious and you're feeling all nervous, they're going to feel the same way. So if you relax and says, you're just going to go with Diana and you're going to meet Dad and you're going to have dinner or you're going to go to the park and then you come back home. That way he feels like safe. He feels like, okay, this is okay.
Okay. What about an older?
And older kids, same thing. It's easier to talk to an older one. Because the older they are, the more you can explain to them without getting them involved. That's something that they shouldn't do. Get them involved in the court process.
So and then this makes me think too, teenagers often will ask, what is going on?
Okay, you can explain it on their level.
So let's say they ask you.
They ask me, I can talk to them as much as I can. Because I'm not going to give them details. I say, you know what, your mom and dad are having a hard time right now, but it's very important for them that you spend time with both of them, and that's what I'm here for. But if you're not comfortable, that's when we come up with a safe word. If you want to leave or if you want to do something else, you just tell me. Because kids feel like if they are with one parent and not the other, they feel like they're being disloyal. So I always take it on me. Instead of you saying, I don't want to be with my father. Just give me a word that you're feeling uncomfortable, and I know. I say, you know what, we need to get going now.
Mm-hmm. And they probably feel so heard.
Yes. That way it's me who's calling it off, not the child.
Yeah.
So it's tricky.
Yeah.
But it can be done.
Definitely. I mean, anything with human relationships is tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so another thing that people ask is, well, we want to save money. So I think that what we'll do is have a family member or my friend be the supervised visitation person.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
That can work.
Okay.
But
high conflict. I'm doing
yes,
that. Only high conflict.
I was going to say,
like,
yeah, that may work, but it's a very high conflict because, again, loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Someone is, the human beings, we feel like they need to be loyal to one person or another.
Yeah.
So if it's a family member, they're going to feel like, okay, it's my sister. I need to support her.
Mm-hmm.
So they may not be as awkward as they need to be because they feel like, how am I going to throw my sister under the bus?
Yeah.
Or my brother or whatever. And then also, it also will create a lot of problems among the family. Because someone is not going to be happy.
Uh-huh.
So it's because of you, and then the family is going to disintegrate even more.
Yeah.
If it's a neutral party, okay.
Is there like a period of time, like I always think about subscriptions, like do people sign on for supervised visits ahead of time? Like, okay, you got to go for like 2 months or 6 months, like what? Sorry. How does it usually happen?
Well, it all depends on people's needs.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what's the shortest time?
the shortest time, 6 months.
6 months? Okay. Oh wow! I thought it'd be like a few weeks.
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah, but it all depends because I know a case that I was involved, and they wanted me to give an assessment if the parent, the other party, was okay to be able to, and I couldn't do it in 2 visits. I needed to do more than 2 visits, so that one took about 3 months.
Yeah.
In different scenarios. I like to
2 visits.
They wanted me to give an answer in 2 visits. I can't.
Oh my
No.
god.
Because like I said, anyone and everyone can be under best behavior for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And everyone, and it's also, people are nervous. So when you're nervous, you act different. So I want them to feel comfortable. I'm not there to punish anyone. I'm just there to help.
Okay, what about overnights? Do you ever do supervised overnights?
I did long time ago, but this one I did for the state.
For the state?
Yes.
What does that mean exactly? I mean,
Okay.
it was more serious, or?
It was the plan was for the mother to reunify with her 2-year-old.
Okay.
But they needed to make sure that she was able to do it.
Okay.
So that was a crazy case. She had 24-hour supervision.
24-hour supervision.
Yeah. So there was few of us. One will come at 7 and stay until 3, and then the 3 will come and stay until 12, and then someone for overnight.
Wow. And how long? That's 6 months?
That one, in 6 months, it was found that it was best to remove the child.
Oh. How often? I know we have a client, we have a number of them, but one that comes to the top of my mind who is terrified that kids are going to be removed, but there hasn't been supervised visitation, just like the beginning of the CPS investigation.
Okay, not necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. A lot of people get scared with we call it DCF.
Yeah.
DCF visit reports.
Yeah.
And the people hide from them.
Right.
That's the worst thing you can do.
Okay. Tell them why, because people want to know
No.
why is it the worst thing to do to hide?
No, don't hide.
Child and
Just,
Family Services.
yeah, open the door and talk to them and tell them where you are, and they will be able to assist you.
Okay.
If you need therapists, if you need other stuff that you may need, they'll be able to help you. Not everyone is there unless it's a major situation.
Well, okay. So here's one. The one parent claimed that the other parent is unfit and there was physical abuse, and the police came, and then now Child Services is coming to look at the home. So what do you recommend that person do? Because the person is terrified that this means my children will be taken away.
No, if she's doing what she needs to do. Because the other parent is saying, but DCF, or
Yeah.
they need to prove that what he's saying is true.
Right.
They cannot just come and take the kids.
Right.
They come, they will call you.
At what level? Like how we find it seems to be a very high threshold of things that happen before anybody actually does anything.
Now, there are extreme situations. If you leave a kid in the car by himself, that would be a removal right there.
Really?
Yeah. If you leave a child at home and is not ready to be home alone, that could be a removal.
Okay. What about physical fighting between the parents in front of the child?
Yeah, that could be a removal. But before they do the removal, they will give you the opportunity to go to therapy, to work things out. It's not like you're fighting, let me take the child.
Oh.
No, it's not. I mean,
okay, people, I hope you heard that, because that's something I know some of you
a lot
are really...
of people get very scared with DCF.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to come and they're going to take my kids. Not always.
Yeah.
Not always. And if anything, they will help you, because sometimes we don't do things not because we don't want to. We don't do things because we don't want to. Other times it's because we do not know how to do them. They can guide us and connect us to the right service.
Okay, so Chris just handed me a question.
Okay.
And I'm thinking too, because of all the false allegations, are you able to see through manipulative people? How?
That's what I said. We have to do more than 1 or 2 visits. In my case, I like to do it as natural as possible. Not in an office, just be in a natural situation, like what normal people do. That way you can see. And then, I don't know if it's a gift or a curse, but I can see when people are trying to play.
Really? We're not going to say it because we don't want to give them any tips. But,
we don't want to get anyone ready.
But you feel like you sense it, just like when you're around someone in your regular life, like something is off. You
can feel when things are off. And when people are trying to manipulate, you can see how hard they try. To me, that's a red flag. Like I had someone who, for every visit, they had a theme. Today is giraffe theme, so everything was about giraffes.
Giraffes?
Yeah. Or today is about firefighters, so everything was about firefighters. I know we don't live like that. That's not
so
normal.
Putting on a show for you.
Putting up a show.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, who does that?
Yeah, well, we know who does that. I'm thinking too that like one of the red flags for me in general is when someone says, "Listen, I'm a really good person."
So who are you trying to convince?
Right, exactly.
If I'm a good person, I don't have to tell anyone I am.
Right.
Just be yourself, and then that's it.
Right.
Yeah. No,
right.
there's more than one way that you can figure out when they're trying to, and that's it. Because my emotions are not involved, it's easy for me to see.
That's great.
Yeah. Usually when your emotions are involved, that's when you don't really see well.
Right.
Because you're not seeing, it's your heart who's...
Well, it's your adrenaline.
Yes.
Yeah, you're in like fight or flight. We've done content on that before.
Yeah,
too.
but that's why I'm neutral. I just see things for what they are.
Okay, so then another thing that came up, one of our friends is a mediator who teaches court-ordered parenting classes. And we were talking a little bit about reunification, how hard that is, and what she thinks about reunification therapy. And she said one thing that I think should always happen as part of or before reunification therapy is supervised visitation. I thought, ooh, that's really interesting. So what do you think about that? I can imagine.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, before you even think of reunification, you need to take it one step at a time. If you're able to handle 2 hours in the community, let's move it to 4 hours at your house. When you're doing dinner, when the phone rings, when you have to deal with everything else, how are you going to handle your child during that time? Or when, even I had a case when I was doing morning visits to see how the parent was going to send the kid to school. Because that's a very stressful time. You have to get ready to go to work, you have to get... So those are the things that you need to keep an eye on before you even move on to reunification. Are you able to handle the most stressful moments of the day?
Interesting. Yeah, this is so helpful. Okay, so Chris, how are we doing on time?
About 20 minutes.
Okay.
Don't let me talk. I can talk. People can figure out how
We're
to
talking
shut her off.
Okay. So what's your favorite part of your job?
The reunification.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's, and also because sometimes, not a lot of times, is allegations, and they are not always true. So to be able to see that a parent can spend time with his or her child because now it was proven that what someone else said was out of anger. So that is a good moment. Yeah.
How do you handle types of abuse that you can't see, like really bad stuff?
Well, that's why I always like to have an open connection with the child.
Okay.
Because that way they feel comfortable enough to share. But it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
I had a case long time ago, and I met the child that I used to work with. I met her now, and she's telling me what she went through, even though when I was there. And I asked her, why didn't you tell me? And she goes, well, that was only going to make my life harder. So sometimes, I can only do what I can.
Yeah, yeah.
But my goal is to have an open connection especially with the kids, so they can feel comfortable enough to tell me what they're going through.
Yeah, I know we often talk about a child having a therapist to hopefully give a voice when something matters. But I never thought about a supervisor with supervised visitation as also being an opportunity as like a confidant for a child. But everything you're describing, like having a good rapport with the kids and making them feel like comfortable with you, that's a similar kind of relationship.
And you'd be surprised. I call it therapy on wheels. You'd be surprised how much you can get out of a child while you're driving in the car. So that's when they feel like they are not even looking you in your eyes, they're just sharing what they have.
Yeah.
So that, to me, is a good tool for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I get to see what maybe they're not ready to share.
All right. So tell us a little bit about the counseling part. Like, so I know, because I know you a bit outside of this, what do you do with people? So not just the co-parenting counseling, or maybe it's that a little bit, but what else do you do besides watching with the kids? Don't get you started.
Don't get me going. Well, one of the things that I also do drug and alcohol groups. So I talk to people trying to recover. I also love to work with people on reconnecting with their own self, because we get disconnected with who we were meant to be. So we start making this person that people tell us, oh, you lie, you do this, you do that. So we start forgetting who we were created to be, the beautiful, amazing person that we were created to be. So I like to work with people on their self-esteem, self-image. Whatever it takes to heal people, I'm there.
Good. Oh, I'm so happy that you agreed to do this. Now people can't find you on Instagram yet.
Not yet.
We can't figure out how to get her
Instagram
on
is
here.
fighting me.
But how can people find you? I mean, we're in Connecticut.
Yes.
So
and that's another thing. We cover Lower Fairfield.
Okay.
I always say that we will go where the need is.
Okay.
I have business in Bridgeport, New Haven. I go where the need is.
Okay.
But they can reach me. The best way is, well, I have an email. It's connecting_families@hotmail.com. But the best way it will be to give me a call or send me a text message.
Okay. What's your number?
203-667
Okay.
9957.
Okay. I'm gonna put that in.
Yeah.
I usually have an Instagram handle, but forget
I
it.
will. You will see me on Instagram soon as I work technology.
Yeah. All right. So anything else you want to say, Diana, before we wind it up?
No, do we have any questions? Do anyone?
No, he
No?
threw me one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. All right.
No.
Well, thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
And we're going to post this recording, and you guys will put her phone number down. And if you have any other questions, get in touch with me, and I can obviously connect with Diana personally. Okay. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
All right. See you later, everyone. Bye.